Hello, fellow mercenaries. Welcome to my first impression with Vindictus, Defying Fate. I managed to play around 10 hours and see 99% of the aspects that are in the game. This alpha beta content was limited to 4 playable characters, a story up to Chapter 2, and 2 co-op monsters to hunt with up to 4 players, and it showed cosmetics coming to later game. If you disagree with the video, well, in that case, you are right and I am wrong. You may check reply for any missed or incorrect information pinned. Well, if you are a fan of Vindictus Season 2 and enjoyed it a lot, congratulations. The game is in an amazing state with combat and visuals. This game can become an arc to those who remember the good old days in Vindictus. I myself was a big fan of old Vindy, and when I started the game, it brought back my good old memories with seeing all these nostalgic remakes of NPCs. They all got big improvement with new modeling and illustration. Also, I find that characteristics are better than original games. Kara became a charming sword maiden with a better appearance. And Kirsty. The difference was like seeing a friend after a holiday, done facelifting with some heavy plastic surgery, but it's pretty, right? Then it's all good. Also, I could see big improvement with the pain in the ass level. I felt Gwyn was more irritating and felt like punching her more than in the original game. The male characters also got improvement with blah blah blah. Yeah, let's skip this. When I start controlling the character after the cutscene, wow, I felt like returning to my homeland. It established well with Kolhan design, making it a similar vibe and atmosphere to the original game with a significant upgrade. Look at this beautiful village. I was playing on 2K max settings, and I can say that the visuals are top tier, but I also felt that this beautiful scenery was made by my poor GPU slavery. You can feel a heavy FPS drop in Kolhan with lots of trees and leaves. It seems like it needs more polish with optimization, but it's beta, right? Let's go to the next topic. Overall visuals are amazing with texture, including character skins, monsters, and environments. When you first come out from the inn, you will see this beautiful village filled with charming NPCs and structures. Very similar to Kolhan, but much bigger and visually beautiful. The texture of character skin and equipment material looked very realistic. When you look at the stones and grass, harmonized with the environment, whoever designed this should get some extra wage. Other than Kolhan, there are 2 more maps which are ruins and cold regions with caves. They both displayed cores so well that you actually feel like exploring ruins and cold regions. The first thing I do to check in-game graphics is test physics, like stepping on this pond to see if it shakes. It did shake and was very impressive. However, in the snow region, no footprints were left behind. Talking about physics, we can't take out the jiggles with characters, right? It was absolutely wonderful. Exactly what I want from next in-game. Look at this natural movement. Okay, next topic. Action was exactly what I wanted and missed from old Vindictus. Not too fast, but stylish and heavy. Old day Vindictus combat was between Monster Hunter and Dark Souls. Well, it resurrected in Defying Fate. The boss's patterns are not too easy. However, you can learn from multiple trials and eventually kill it. It gives tension and thrill all the way till you kill the bosses with satisfying achievement. I played Delia, the Greatsword Yielder, for 10 hours. I totally enjoyed fighting all bosses with her stylish heavy swing and deflecting enemy attacks with perfect guard. They added yellow, dodgeable, blue, deflectable, and red light, meaning not dodgeable nor blockable attacks to give some spice to the combat. Blue attack can be deflected with perfect guard, which was very fun for me. The dodge timings are so generous that you can dodge almost all attacks easily if you know the pattern. The commands are pretty much the same as the original game, using a mix of weak and strong attacks to derive combos. There were 4 active skills you can use anytime as long as the cooldowns are clean. These skills can be invested in a skill tree, each with reduced cooldown and damage increases. The last 2 skills were related to counterattack and special attack, which all characters have. You can use counter after perfect guard, which was quite generous with timing as well, and special attack you can use after certain combos. Also, there are shared skills that are related to potion quantity and healing amount, like in Dark Souls, passives related to defense and dodging, and lastly, increasing stagger damage and character's attack. These skill trees can only be opened in campsites similar to Bonfire in Dark Souls. The campsite can be easily unlocked just by interacting with a blue aura in the ground. Another big change was that we no longer accept quests from the board and ride the boat to load a quest map. The entire map is already loaded, and we just need to teleport to the starting point and kill some mini-bosses to reach the final boss in that map. Progression was very linear, and you can loot treasure chests and items that give skill points, potions, and die pools along the way. Not sure the die pool is going to drop in the actual game, though. The gear progression was summing up the weapon's enhancement level that you crafted and enhanced, regardless of which weapon you use. For example, Sword A and Sword B both can be upgraded up to 3 times, so if I enhance max with both weapons, it will sum up and apply level 6 enhancement to both Sword A and B. So you just need to craft and enhance them all, then pick a weapon with your heart. Sadly, there were no armors or accessories to use in beta. This might be added in future for diverse builds. Overall, combat experience was like playing Dark Souls with Vindictus characters. There are a limited number of potions you can refill at the campsite and restock by resting. Lots of campsites are available for you to unlock while exploring the map. After killing the last boss in that map, it will unlock Trial Recall to fight mini-bosses and last bosses in the same spot. This will reward you with random material drops to upgrade your skills or enhance weapons. You can kill bosses every 5-minute cooldown, but I believe Nexon will extend this to a couple of hours to a day in the actual game. I can say the fighting with bosses was truly thrilling and hand-sweating, the most epic and satisfying action game I played in 2025. I will leave a record of jiggling party with Dahlia's breasts. My pretty, sexy, hot Dahlia fighting the last boss in beta at the end of the video. There are co-op contents with raiding bosses unlocked after Chapter 1. However, I am not sure if we can play the story quests with friends at this point. Now to the cosmetics and other stuff. With the character customization, you can pick a color for the skin, resize body parts, and set the wet density of the skin. It's quite sad that there are no bars to resize face components. However, you can still make unique appearances with hair, makeup, and other decorations. There are gestures to take a screenshot or play around with others in Kolhen, which is going to be a hub to meet other players, I assume. Not sure how they're going to make us play with others other than matchmaking. Maybe something like the hub in Monster Hunter with a limit of 32 or 64 players. Also added photo mode to take a picture from a different angle. When you visit Cloda, right front of the inn, you can customize your character's outfits and decorations. She also sells skins in another tab. Man, looking at all these skins, I think my wallet is going to be dusty after buying them all. Look at this evil temptation. This is heresy. I think it's rightful self-defense to buy and hide it all in my inventory. Sure, my mom will understand this. Once you buy outfits, they can be mixed with other parts, like a head with a shiny helmet and a body with some dress. Other than skins, you can find hairs, makeup, scars, eye type, and gestures in here as well. They give a wide choice with dyeing outfits, like dyeing multiple parts of the head or chest. I knew Nexon was always talented with making female skins and characters, from MapleStory to the First Descendant. They didn't let us down in here as well. Very, very good. Just hoping it would be cheap and shareable between my characters to save money. There is a battle pass called Kalbram Supply, which gives cosmetics and other in-game material. I feel like pricing with skins and battle pass going to be similar to the First Descendant, which is not too expensive unless you want to collect all the skins like me. At last, conclusion. The game has a high potential of succeeding just by action itself. If you are a fan of action games, I'm sure you will love this. The visuals are wonderful, and I believe the story plot is also going to be amazing. Since the original Vindictus was my first game that I didn't skip the story and read all the way to the end, It's one of my favorite game stories in my life. I just hope they work more on optimizing the game before release and don't do any Nexon stuff, such as greed with pay-to-win systems or selling items that affect the gameplay heavily. I will be looking forward to seeing more stories and content added in the game. I will likely put my eyes on the next beta too. If you are interested in the game, try downloading the demo, which lasts until June 16th, and see it for yourself. I will leave the record of the last boss fight to show you general gameplay and actions. Well then, I will see you in the next video with a first impression of the Duet Night Abyss beta.